All right, everyone. So this is episode 4. We're going straight into it. We've had some great interviews, but Cassie, I'm excited because she is a hat of many trades. So this conversation, I have no idea where it's going to go, but because of that, it's going to get some great content for us. So background behind this, we have started this podcast. Actually, it's a mini series. So if you ever tell anybody you're on a mini series, it's forbidden to say podcast on this show. So in this mini series, we're going to highlight local business owners, people who are in the community. Cassie, you embody all of that. So we'll start this off with what is it that you do and who you work for?
All right, so my name is Cassie Wingfield, and I am we just changed my title. I'm now the Director of Marketing and Communications for Sparc Hope. We are a single parent resource center that serves single parents that are both in school and working. Our goal is to try to help remove any obstacles that would prevent them from graduating so that they can become successful and self-supportive. I always tell people we're the bridge between financial assistance and financial independence. So our goal is to break the poverty cycle in single parent home.
Yeah. So how did you get connected with that? Because from my understanding, it's a little bit of a family business in a
It's
sort.
not necessarily a family business, but yes, right now there's 2.5 staff members, and my mother is the other full-time staff person. So a little bit of the family in there. I had just become a single mom myself in 2014, and I was waitressing and bartending before that, and I needed a job that was more conducive to a parenting schedule. And the founder was like, "Well, just come work with us." And I was like, "No, I don't want to work with my mom." And after a while, I was like, "Okay." So I started out just answering phones part time, and then I fell in love with the mission and the parents that we were serving, and the children that we got to interact with there, and it just kind of grew from there. So
So you would have. Um, it's funny. So you said you wear many hats
yes,
in there.
yes,
So it's crazy because the day in the office, um, you're marketing, but it's more than that.
it is. We just started working on an org chart because we've been in a lot of nonprofits are like this because you wear so many hats. We've just kind of been in survival mode because I've been doing a lot of the marketing and the development and fundraising, communications, but I also manage volunteers and I work one on one with the parents and donor relations, things like that. So we just started an org chart where we like broke out all the different job descriptions, what volunteers could do. And for me, it's been stressful because I see all of the things, like the parts of my job that I aren't getting done
Mm.
because we've been in survival mode. But I think it's going to be really helpful and it's going to be really fun to find the right people to fit in those spots.
Okay. So the story. Let's peel back a layer real quick. What's the story behind Cass? Because I know, like, from networking and being in BNI, we're in the same BNI group. So you're passionate about helping the community, single mom, anime nerd,
Yes.
um, which is funny. So let's actually talk about that because you've been in a contest, or what was it where like you had to rank for? It was like around Octoberish
That
time.
was a Halloween contest. It was for the face of Halloween. And it was one of those where you could like purchase votes and stuff. But I made it into the finals without having to like solicit people to purchase votes. I would do cons if I had the means to do it, but we love cosplay at my house. I was the Winter Soldier one year. I got to make the metal arm. That was really fun. My Viking was really cool. I was K-pop Demon Hunters this last year, Rumi. It was fun. So we just
Which is the big thing this year.
it's really big. They just won an Oscar, and
Yeah.
it's like an animated group. It's not even a real.
My sister's obsessed with it, and I'm like, for Christmas, that's all she wanted. And I was like, I saw it, and I was like, what is this? It didn't even make sense, but apparently they're the
Have you
greatest
seen the
thing since sliced
movie?
bread. I refuse to.
It's good.
I
Like
refuse to fall into that
my
trap.
daughter, she was like, "Let's watch this." I was like, "Oh, it's animated. Okay, sure, I'll watch it." Then I was like, "That's who I'm being for Halloween this year." Like, it's fantastic, actually. So
Yeah.
it's worth a watch.
So okay. So anime, and then so what's the story behind it? Because like you said, you were connected into Spark Hope through meeting the director. You know, you coach your daughter's dance team.
Coach, yep, yep. So I have three different jobs. I'm the director of development and communications. I got to remember the new title for Sparc Hope. That's my main job. And then I'm an account manager and a graphic designer for a brain management company, who's another single mom that runs that. I love her. She's in Laura's B&I group. And then I coach the dance team at South Little Middle School 2 days a week. And that was mainly for my daughter. I was not planning on taking that on last year, but I'm glad I did. It's extremely rewarding, and I get to be active, and I was a dancer growing up, so that was a lot of fun. But as far as like how it all happened, I did just kind of fall into it. I mean, I had a heart for what we were doing at Sparc Hope. I worked there for a while, and then it was difficult to work with my mom that
Oh yeah, of
closely.
course.
So I did leave for a little bit, and then they needed help with a marketing campaign, and I came back and I did the campaign, and the board of directors at the time was like, don't let her leave. Like, this is the seat she was supposed to be in. And the numbers just kept going up. We went from third page of Google to the first page of Google, and I don't remember how many Google reviews I know. It was like 126, where we had like 12 before. So, I mean, just learning, and I'm self-taught on all of it. Like, I went to school for history and archaeology, so I just fell into it, and I was good at it, and I liked it, and it just kind of kept growing, and it has opened a lot of doors. Like, that's how I met Coral to do my side work, which I just work for her 1 day a week, but it's fun. I get to do a little bit more of the graphic design and stuff, which I'm doing less at Sparc Hope now. So I enjoy that kind of work. And then, yeah, it's just opening doors and getting to meet people and be a part of it. Networking is something that wasn't really easy for me. I'm a little bit of an introvert. I found this out during COVID or after COVID. I was like, I don't like being in the groups of people and having to talk. But it's kind of like exposure therapy. Once you get used to it, like there's ways to go about it and strategize how to do it to do your job.
Yeah.
Well, so.
And so we'll talk about networking later. I was talking to Jack about that, and it's really the relationships, which in your business is probably more significant than you know, running ads or anything like that. But with Sparc Hope, the big thing that stands out and is really cool about the program is that, like you said, you're helping single parents. Like, what would you say is like the process as far as identifying those, getting those, or like what's the process of like finding the people that go in there, and what's it like? Because in the office of Sparc Hope, the success is on the wall, where you have a whole wall of plaques that show the people that, like, I don't know if it's all the people that graduated, but majority of people that graduated.
I would have enough degrees and diplomas and certificates where I could fill both of those hallways in there, but it's really hard to get them from them once they've left. But so in order to be in the program, they do have to be working at least 20 hours a week and then going to some form of higher education at least half time. And we know that higher education does not look the same for everybody. We're really trying to break into the trades a lot more right now because we found that a lot of them were getting these degrees that they couldn't pay for afterwards. So it depends. And I mean, I think the majority of our parents have gone to school for nursing or allied health. Those absolutely, you need that degree because you need to be trained and educated on how to be a nurse. But I have two single dads in the program right now that are going for pipe fitters. And I think that's great, and they're going to have an associate's degree, they'll have their pipe fitters certificate, and then they'll be making a good living afterwards, and they won't be in a lot of debt. So they do have to be going to some form of higher education. And so once we've established those things, we do an interview process where it's really just doing a budget. And it's sad, but a lot of them hadn't ever seen a budget or looked at a budget before when they get to us, because we are creating generational change here. So we look at their income versus all of their outgoing expenses, and we have to make sure we can get them to a workable budget. We have to get them to the positive side, which generally, as soon as you plug in numbers, most people are like $1,000 short a month. But when you plug in, you know, here's some things you can cut out, and here's what we can save you, and here's our resources, what that would make up. We can save you this much in groceries every month. Once we plug those in, we get them to a good side of the budget, then we can bring them on as a client. And we write up a contract, and we say as long as you agree to do these things, which they have to call weekly to check in. They have to turn in their expenses monthly because we are doing a big focus on financial literacy right now. And then I think that's really, they can't be cohabitating with a significant other.
Mm.
That's our definition of a single parent. Because
Yep.
if you're dual income, it doesn't matter if you're married or not. That's two incomes, and your significant other should be helping pay the bills, not donors. So once we've established all those things, then we can start working with them. The largest savings they probably get, we've got, like, you've seen it, there's a whole grocery store on site, and it's available as often as needed at no cost to them. And then we do give some financial assistance depending on the individual, but sometimes we have to make sure that they're reducing their spending in order to do that. Like, we had a girl that was spending a lot of money on eyelashes, and that's not a necessity, and we didn't feel like we should be paying her LG&E if she was spending money on eyelashes. So, and we're not saying cut out the eyelashes, we're saying do them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something that makes you feel good and makes you feel confident to go into work every day, do them yourself instead of spending money to go get them done. I'm a big fan of learning how to do things on your own. I've been a single mom for forever. I've done my own hair for forever, my own nails, all the things. So it's teaching life skills and things like that as well too. A lot of them that go out to eat because it's easier because they're busy. And so we've got a whole freezer right now that's all ready to eat food. We're like, instead of going through a drive-through, why don't you grab one of these frozen rotisserie chickens? You know, something.
Talk about that kitchen.
Yes. Yes.
So that kitchen is like jam-packed with, last time I was there, it was rows and rows of diapers, canned goods, desserts, meats, the meat fridge.
Yes, we have a freezer for every kind of meat you can think of, and we just got a grant for another freezer because we were running out of freezer space. We got one for seafood right now. I don't remember. I think it was like 60 pounds of salmon came in one day.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, anything that they could want. We do on our social media. We do like a Sparc Meal Mondays where we'll highlight like an easy recipe for those that maybe don't know how to cook as much. Like an easy recipe where they can utilize stuff that's in our pantry, and we shape all of those off of the things that we have. A family foundation just gave us like a whole cow, so we have so much ground beef right now, and so we did several ground beef recipes. They're like easy one-pan skillet ones. It takes 30 minutes, and we already have all the ingredients in the pantry. So I think those things are helpful. We wanted to do more life skills things like that, but it's really hard to get them all in one place at the same time because their schedules are all different. Like some of them go to school at night and work during the day, or childcare, things like that. So I'd really like to start like a YouTube library where we film the things and put it in there so they can still view it, and maybe have incentives programs where they can earn points or something for doing the life skills classes.
So it's almost like you're creating the lifestyle for them, to show them like the lifestyle can be created, not with handcuffs, but you're putting the bumpers up so they don't go out the lanes is kind of what it is.
I always tell people we're a hand up, not a handout. They gotta want to change in their life. I mean, if they're not making it, generally there's a reason, and so change is necessary. But change is hard, and there's always growing pains. And if you don't know what to do or how to change things, then you're gonna stay in the same cycle that you're in. So it's a lot. But I will say the ones that come through the program, it's so beautiful to watch the success stories. And I've told this one before, but we had a mom and a daughter. The mom was in the program, and she was racing her daughter to see who was going to finish college first. And the mom, she beat her, but she got a 2-year business degree, and she started. She has her own cabinetry business, and she just expanded into a larger space in the industrial park in J-Town. She's doing fantastic. I think she's flipping homes now too. She's doing really well. And her daughter kept going. She got her master's degree, and she's now the assistant athletic director at the University of Virginia, which is not a women's field usually.
Mm-hmm.
And her boss is kind of pushing her to go get her doctorate because I think he wants her to be able to get that head spot at some point. And I love listening to her speak because she cries when she talks about Sparc Hope, and it makes everyone else cry, but not in like a bad way. It's very, very moving. But we just did a news segment together last year, and she just had a baby. And she talked about how her daughter will never know what it means to grow up in poverty because she watched her mom do hard things, so she knew she could do hard things too. And so that's the generational change that we're trying to see. Mm-hmm. And I love it, and I get to witness all of that, so it's really nice.
Yeah, and so the community involvement, so you guys also take volunteers. Like, is that kind of, because you get clothes donations, food donations, other things like that. But um, what would be the bigger need? Because, like I said, you guys have the financing program or the financial literacy. You show that you put them in areas where to succeed, like make sure they're part time here or
Yeah.
going to school. But from there, I'd imagine it's a pretty big workload, not just for you specifically, but like what would be the opportunities for somebody who's like, hey, I like this cause, I want to attach to it as well.
Yes. So right now I'm working on job descriptions for all the different volunteer roles that are there. And it's stuff that I never thought to ask people to do volunteer wise. Like part of my job is finding the organizations or the companies that want to get involved. And a lot of companies out there do have big community involvement, but they don't know about us. And because there's just the two of us, or the 2.5 of us, that haven't really been able to get out and meet a lot of these people. So part of that is like people that do like to go talk about Sparc Hope, that want to go out and meet the people. But part of it too is having someone in there to answer the phones and take the incoming clothing donations and stuff like that. I've got one that's doing it 3 days a week for the afternoons, but I could use someone in there when she's not there, because when she's not there I can feel it, and so I'm having to stop what I do constantly to do all those things. And then it's having someone to help with events. A lot of people love throwing parties, so having people on our event team would be fantastic. Having people that, yeah, I love the graphic design part, but it does take up a big part of my job. So someone that wants to do newsletters and wants to gather that information and get that out. People that want to be involved with just helping me run my volunteers. Volunteer coordination is huge. So like having a volunteer coordinator would be, that would be amazing. Cause it's, well, because we're so small, we're running on volunteers, but it takes a lot to train them, and it takes, and because they're volunteers, sometimes there's turnover. So, now I will say we've got an amazing like volunteer staff that's in there right now, but I need more of them. I need to clone them and have more of them. So stuff like that is always really important.
Like the manpower, it's just like, how do you make sure it doesn't fall off between those days of everything like that?
Yeah, yeah.
And so you and Laura are in the community pretty, as far as like networking, going to B&I, stuff like that as well, right?
I would like to be doing more of it though. When I took on the development position, I was like, yes, I'm going to be out having meetings all the time. But because our main job there is to support the single parents. And I do have a programming person on staff, but she's there 14 hours a week. And we are serving 22 families right now. So if you see all of them once a week, or even half of them once a week, that eats up her whole time with us. So I've been doing a lot with the parents, and I feel like that is my responsibility, is to the parents. But also, if we don't have the funding to continue the program, then we're doing them a disservice. So that's somewhere where I could probably use help too. Volunteers that want to work with the parents, hand in, like face to face, maybe help with pantry appointments and stuff. That's a hard one to give away because I enjoy that part so much. They're like some of the parents that come in, I just love hearing about what's going on in their lives. But you know, that would be extremely helpful, because again, if we don't have the funds, we can't continue to serve them.
Yeah. So you have a pretty close relationship with these families as well.
I do. Yes, I love it. I'm because they're required to call and check in once a week. The check-ins are usually just they were put into place because sometimes they forget that we have certain resources for them. Like their car will break down, and I'm like, don't take it to the shop. We got a guy that will do that for parts only. He's fantastic. He owns it's a detailing place, but he's got a mechanic there, so he'll do some jobs for them. And then I had one mom that called, and she was like, oh, I think I'm going to have to do a lease to own on a washer or dryer. And I was like, no, you don't. Nope, cancel whatever you were just doing, because someone just told me they had like almost new Samsung front loading. They were just combining households, and they wanted to donate these.
Wow.
So just through those conversations, we find those things out, but then you get to celebrate the small wins. Or I ask them every week what I can pray for them for. We have a prayer request sheet that goes out to partnering churches and stuff, and I don't know if all of them are believers, but I think it feels great to them to know that someone is praying for them, that someone is there and wants to know what they can do for them, even if it's just prayers. And so, like, I know one of them, her daughter's having some issues with her eye health right now. And so we've really been, and we partner with the Lions Club. So I was like, hey, if you need help with that, I know someone whose main concentration is youth and vision. So that was good to know that. So just those little conversations help us better serve them. But also, some of them don't have family support here. So getting to be like their family is wonderful.
Like, yeah, it's building that up. Like a community of sorts
It is.
and things. Like, and that's interesting because it sounds like there's collaboration opportunities as well for other businesses, like not for profit or maybe for profit. I don't know what it will be labeled as, but would you say that's probably the other biggest struggle is that these parents don't know the venues or the connections? Like you said, the guy that has a detailing place, or there's donations of appliances. There's also one that comes to mind where, like you said, like learning to do the lashes yourself. Like, is that kind of the thing you see with these families coming in? Is like they're just kind of in the wilderness, and it's kind of like you're giving them the avenues to really see where to go with it?
A lot of the time, yes. And sometimes, though, I tell you, I learn about resources from some of them because they've been in survival mode, and so they don't work the system, but they've learned how to utilize what's out there for them. And so I've learned a lot of resources from the parents that come into our program, and I think that's amazing. But also just trying to teach them to utilize what's there for them, like we're meant to be a stepping stone, like a step up, and so teaching them to utilize what is there for them. Sometimes people are afraid to ask for help. I mean this with no disrespect. We've only had a handful of dads go through the program since we opened it up to single dads, which was in like 2019. I think it's because men don't like to ask for help as much. And so the ones that have come through the program have just been floored with the amount of assistance and what we're there to do for them. And I think that's been really great just to watch the relationship that the dads have with the kiddos and getting to be a part of that as well. I had one dad get a curling iron out of the pantry, and he was like, can you please teach me how to use this so I can curl my daughter's hair? And
Oh, wow.
it's like, that's really sweet. Yes, I can teach you. But yeah, just letting them know what's out there and available to them. Some of them didn't realize that they could get Outlook through their schools, which I thought their schools would explain that to them.
Yeah.
But that's beneficial in a lot of ways, or different grants that are available to them for their schooling and things like that. So yeah, getting to help teach them about the resources and stuff that's there. But then also we were talking about collaboration with other people. And that's where I think things like my B&I group or Laura's B&I group are going to be so helpful for the ones that are graduating, because by the time they leave us, usually they're off of government assistance. And so they're going to need health insurance, and they're going to need, I really want to get them prepared for home ownership while they're in the program with us, because there's a lot of work to do behind the scenes. And with the cost of housing with rent these days, I feel like that is going to be the best investment they could make. But it's expensive and it takes a lot of work. And so I know like there's grants coming out here soon for first time home buyers, and I didn't realize they've doubled it now. So, which makes sense because the prices of houses have gone so far
Yes,
up.
it's insane.
Yeah, so it's those kinds of things that, they will need a realtor, they will need a broker, they will need someone that does health insurance. If it's an entrepreneurial person, they'll need someone that can help them navigate social media. So I know there's a lot of them out there. Like I was just meeting with the financial planner in our group, and I was like, oh, there's one that's getting ready to graduate, and I think she could really benefit from speaking to you, because she just got her certification. She's getting ready to get a job where she'll be making real money, and I want her to have a good plan moving forward, because she'll be out of our program 6 months after she graduates. And so I want to set them up for success. I don't want them to come back to me later and be like, it didn't work, I can't make it without you, because I know they can. I know they're capable, and I know they can do it. And that's where I think having those connections is going to be really beneficial for them in the long run.
Like, you don't want it to be a codependent. You want it to be like this is your springboard to go from there. What schools have you gotten? Like, because I know U of L's been one, but I mean, there's been a variety of schools that these people have graduated from. So it's not like, hey, we're going to send you to DeVry Online University to graduate. Like, these are some pretty big programs and degrees they're getting.
They're all over are. We've got a couple that are at U of L. I've got one, no, I might have two at ATA right now. Galen, Sullivan, a lot of online schools. A lot of them are moving to online schools these days. I think one was Cumberland University, maybe. So really, they're all over. And then the trades, the two that we have in the trades right now are through the Pipe Fitters and Plumbers Union. I guess that's a statewide thing, maybe. Well, I don't know. One of them lives in Indiana, so. But yeah, really, we just look at it. And then the only thing that we really look at on an individual basis is the certifications. Because some of the certifications that are out there, you got to watch it out for them because they're not really going to be beneficial. Some people are trying to make money. So we really look at the certifications, and we have those approved. I've got a past board member who worked in education for years and years, so he's really good at determining, hey, this might not be one you should look at, but if this is what you're interested in doing, this could be some courses you could take, and that would set you up for success.
So they have freedom to choose it. Like,
yeah.
You don't want to be, no offense, but like, you don't want to be like, hey, liberal arts. It's like, no, like maybe you should do nursing or like set a trade or communications or like something where you're like, hey, this path is more successful.
Yes. So I do have right now, one of their financial advisors. It's just someone who talks to them about their budgets on a quarterly basis. But he's a retired business professor from IUS, and he's on my board of directors. He's brilliant. He's amazing, and he loves helping the parents. But he'll do this thing called like the game of life with them, and he's like, okay, so where do you want to be in 5 years? So it'll be at that level of life, then you need to be making this much money a year annually, and projected with your graduation right now, you're looking at this. So we either need to cut expenses or we need to up our income, and how are we going to do that? And so he's fantastic. He did talk one out of her major, though, when she was doing it, because she was going for social work, which is admirable. It's a lot like what I'm doing, so I get it. But in order to be a certified social worker, you have to have a master's degree. It's a lot of schooling.
A lot.
And she thought she was going to make $75,000 a year coming out of the gate from school, which is not likely. And so in finding this out, and it is possible with that degree, but maybe after you've established.
It's a lot. Like my mom just got her master's. She's doing therapy for trauma people, and it's like she just graduated last May. I'll probably get flack for not knowing the day, but her field was tough to get into because there's an intern level usually when you do that stuff. Like there's usually a level of you have to get the qualification, like see so many clients or whatever, and then you have to get into a level where you qualify for your license, or there's like a stage from that.
Yes.
And it's kind of like the equivalent of starting out at an entry-level job or whatever, and then you get to the part where you're on your own practice or you're hosting your own business, and that's where it's like she's like, yeah, I can't even, she's like, this is the tip of the iceberg. Like, I have to pass a board within a year before I get to the next level. Like, there's a lot.
You have to really want to do it, because there is a lot. I've got several that are going for social work right now, and I think it's so beautiful that that's where their heart is. And but it is so much. They're so underpaid, in my opinion, because one, the amount of training that they have to do, but two, what a difference they're making. And I feel like even the government is relying on social workers more and more, and so I feel like that's definitely an underpaid position for sure. The one girl who left that as her major, I think she went into forensic psychology. So she still gets to do the psychology part and everything, but just changing that one part of her major gave her extra opportunities, I guess. But it's ridiculous to me, the amount of training that they have to go through. I've got two that are in their practicum right now. One of them's doing it at the VA, and she's loving it so much. She's so excited. And so actually I think I have two that are at the VA right now. And that's the most money they've ever made, too. It's a paid practicum, so they're loving every second of this, and I think they're going to be extremely successful. So
go from there. So the program Sparc Hope is growing, almost at an accelerated, like building the plane while you're flying it type rate.
I would like to, if we got the funding in, yes. I think I'm gonna cap the program at 25 parents for this year, just to make sure, because the amount of assistance they're receiving from us, if you were to put a dollar figure on it, because a lot of it's in kind and stuff, it's like $16,000 a year.
Per family.
Per family, yes. And so, and that factors into a lot of things like having our office space and having the staff to run that. And honestly, we're understaffed, but that's every nonprofit right now. So,
Yeah.
it's just being able to grow. I would need another staff person, I feel like, and so I would want to have, like 6 months of revenue and all of that before I could bring in another staff member and make sure that we are serving the parent. I don't want their benefits to go down just so that we can grow.
Yeah.
Because I think that the thing that makes Sparc Hope so special is the amount of individual attention that they do receive. I mean, we could grow substantially and give them less benefits, but I don't feel like we'd be making a lasting impact in their lives. And the whole thing is to try to make the generational change. So getting to connect with their children and making sure their children can see everything that their parents are doing so that they know that they can do those things too. I don't want any of that to go away. So.
Yeah. So I hate to pit organizations against each other, but what would be different about the way that that Sparc Hope approaches this, the way that Sparc Hope helps the families? Like, because I've heard of different organizations and nonprofits that do similar, but it seems like there's more, maybe not more, but this program has different programs and offerings and different philosophy as far as what they hope to accomplish with these families.
I think part of it could be we are high accountability. I mean, we ask them to work on it. Like that, we're not going to do the work for them. We will support them in the work that they're doing. And part of what we're doing is the wraparound services. Like I want to address every obstacle that comes their way, because I don't want. I mean, people or maybe they don't realize. And I mean, with the way the economy is, maybe it's like this for everybody. It's not just single parents, but like one trip to the auto shop can derail a degree, because they might think, oh, I have to quit school so that I can make money, so that I can have my car, so that I can continue to make money, or one doctor's appointment that goes wrong, having to pay extra medical bills, that can derail a degree. And so I think that just the wraparound services, again, just anything that could derail anything for them, we try to take care of that. Because we want them to be successful. And that's a scary place to live when, the degree or the certification, that is going to be their ability to care for their family. And we want to make sure that they get there. So really, we do anything we can to make sure that happens.
So let's say 5 years from now, what does that look like? What is the goal for what Sparc Hope is doing and what they can help accomplish?
5 years from now, I would love for us to be able to help 50 families a year. I'd love for us to own our own building. I want to expand the food pantry. I call it a food pantry, but it's got household items. It has a clothing closet. It has small appliances, stuff like that. So it's a grocery store. So 5 years from now, I'd like for us to expand that so it can offer everything that they would need. Because we're starting to do surveys where we ask them, what are you still spending money on at the grocery store? Like what don't we have? Because we want to go after those things. I want to be able to offer different life skills, things that they are spending money on or that would help them be beneficial. I know mental health is a huge barrier that people come across that might prevent them from being successful. And so having different things, I would like to have maybe like a gym. A lot of them can't afford to go to the gym, but do you know how beneficial that would be to their physical and mental health? Being able to have that space and it wouldn't be a big gym. It could be like a room with workout equipment, or find a partnering gym that would give them free gym memberships or something. We would like to be able to, again, the life skills programs have that library of life skills courses for them. Something I really would like to do is partner with a bank maybe so they can open up their savings accounts And then, because we're trying to get them to establish savings account, we want them to have an emergency fund and an emergency car fund, because again, the cars can throw people off real fast, and that is your ability to get to work and get to, you know. So I'd like to partner with banks and have like incentives programs, like, hey, if you save $500, we'll match a portion of that, you know, and then we could do that through grants and other things, but that's only going to happen through expanding behind the scenes as well, and with our community engagement and community involvement and getting out in front of people, and then just being able to do those things for them. And eventually, yes, I would like to do that for more families, but just with the bandwidth we have right now, I feel like 25 is going to be a good, because I don't want them to lose anything, and then, you know, 5 years, maybe 50, that would be great to be able to double the size of our program. I don't want it to get too big, because I don't want to lose that individual. Like, I like knowing all of their names, and I like knowing all of their children, and I like that their kids want to tell me about their school, and they draw pictures, and I hang them up in my office.
Like, it shouldn't be a factory.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't be a factory. I like that we are making lasting changes in the individuals' lives. And like our breakfast coming up, Keelan is coming back to speak, and he loves talking about his time with Sparc Hope. And his mom was in the program, and that's where he met Ronnie Baker, who's the Olympic guy, the Olympic track star. And he mentored Keelan, and now Keelan's getting ready to graduate college, and he's won all kinds of medals for track and field in college. So getting to see how their time at Sparc Hope shaped his life has been fantastic. And I remember I just asked him if he would come back and speak again, and he was like, you know, that was like one of like the highlights of my life, was getting to come speak at your breakfast, because he did it a few years ago. And I was like, I thought you did an amazing job. I can't wait for you to come back and do it again. So we're really excited to have him back, and like getting to talk to Jasmine and meet Jasmine's baby girl, and see just the generational change that took place there. And so her wanting to bring her baby into the office. When she was in high school when her mom was in our program, but still, just getting to be a part of those things. I don't ever want that to go away.
Yeah, and talk about that breakfast. So what it is it? What, like, when? How do you get signed up? And
All right,
what is it for?
Yeah, I probably should have led with that a while ago. The Breakfast of Champions, it's going to be April 21st, and it's 7:30 in the morning, but you get out by 9, so you still have the rest of your workday. And it's complimentary breakfast. I've got, and I can up my seats too, so I'm hoping to have about 75 to 100 business professionals or just people who care in the room. I've got Olympic track star Ronnie Baker coming to speak. He mentored a boy whose mom was in our program, Keelan, and Keelan is also going to come speak. I'm trying to get Keelan's mom to come and say a few words about what it meant to her, but I haven't gotten a hold of her yet. But they're going to tell the story about what it means when someone takes a chance on you, and what a difference that can make, because I feel like that's the whole point of what we're doing, is to take a chance on someone. And once you nurture that, you know, and they have hope, which is what we're here for, what they can accomplish. So I'll speak a little bit during the breakfast as well. This is the first year I actually want to make it a fundraiser. In the past, we have asked for donations there, but I think that this has the potential to actually raise some funds and get people invested. In the past, this breakfast has always been after our annual gala, and so it was like, here, have fun at the gala, and then come to the breakfast and really learn. But we've decided that we were doing the breakfast in the summertime, and it's hard to get people in places in the summertime because everyone's on vacation.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be, and with the Olympics just ending, I really wanted to shine on the Olympics with Ronnie there, and he just had his second child, and I was like, can you take a break from the baby to come talk at my breakfast? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So I want him to bring his wife too, but no, it's going to be April 21st at the Olmsted, 7:30 in the morning. You can go to our website, which is www.sparc-hope.org. And on the front page, there's a Breakfast of Champions banner. I did the Olympics rings, but I made them out of coffee rings because it's a breakfast. I thought that was really clever. I was really excited with that. And there's a registration link there. There's also a sponsorship packet if you want to sponsor it. I think it'll be a great way to get your business or your name out in front of people. And we'll do table signs, and we'll do, for the larger sponsors, I was even going to let them come and speak for a minute and highlight themselves. I've got tables where they can put out their marketing material. But I think it's complimentary breakfast again. There will be time for open networking. I know I've invited our entire B&I group, and Laura's invited her entire B&I group, and they've got a big one. Theirs is like 45 people. So, and then I invited my WIN group, and we invited the other women in networking group that my board members on. So, be a lot of networkers.
A lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
So the earlier you said that you are partly introverted. So as far as getting into this role and networking, like how has it helped you grow? You know, especially being in the field with all these families and everything like that.
It's helped a lot. Just one, getting to learn connections and relationships, because that's what networking is building relationships. So learning the right questions to ask, and learning, I think it was because I bartended for so long. I'm great with faces, awful with names.
How did you bartend and you're introverted? That's like the polar opposites.
I got to be behind the bar. It felt safe behind the bar for some reason. I don't know why.
Huh.
I also think COVID made me more of an introvert. Because I just found, and it's more of an exhaustion thing for me. Like my social battery just was empty. Like on Tuesday we had B&I, and then I had my women in networking directly after, and by the end of the day I was just depleted because I had to be on all day long.
So it's not natural, but it's like there's a certain game mode that has to be turned on in order to go into that.
Well, I was told too, because we did all the personality things. Our HR lady, we have a volunteer HR lady, did all the personality quizzes and stuff, and I was considered a social introvert.
Was there a number? Like, 'cause I've seen the one. There's DISC. There's the IJNL whatever ones, and then the purple, green, red. Like, do you know which test it was?
I don't remember what mine was called. I just know like there was like a chart, and like everyone in the office was here, and I was here. I was like, oh, okay, that makes a little more sense. Just because my brain, I don't feel like works the same way as everyone else's, but I think part of that too, having to be the networker and development stuff. I feel like with the creative side of the brain, that's one side of the brain. You know this, because you have to do with running your own business, but also being media and having to be the creative side. It's hard to switch from that creative side to the functional side and to like the numbers and stuff. And I just learned that I was at a training before I came here that programming is completely different from development, and that's two different sides of your brain. So when you're doing programming and you're doing development, those sides are conflicting, and made me feel a little bit better because I don't feel like I've been moving forward as much with development as I would have liked at this point since I took it on, but it's because I'm still doing so much with the programming. But the hard part is I don't want to give up the programming.
You're stubborn.
Working with the parents.
It's your baby.
I know. I wouldn't be there if I didn't care, you know. So, but again, we wouldn't be there if we didn't have funding to support them. So I just have to keep that in mind. And I still get to learn their stories and tell their stories and share their successes when I do the development. So that's still really, really great.
Yeah. So how can we help you? Like, what's the thing that, obviously donations are helpful, but what is the thing that would help Sparc Hope reach these goals, and, you know, whether it's expand or, you know, like I said, the other avenues that you were talking about?
I would love to have more conversations with people on how we could partner in the community. I was just talking to a restaurant owner, and they were talking about either doing a restaurant night or a roundup thing for us. I think that would be great. If you wanted to do in-kind items, we do different food drives throughout the year. I know we're coming up on summer break here soon. So all of our like ramen noodle and Chef Boyardee, that will go so fast because it's easy things that the kids can cook for themselves. So and like kids snacks, those things will go really fast. So different things like that. We do have programming things throughout the year. Like we just did Easter baskets for all of them, and that was a lot of fun. And then I think we do like spring cleaning baskets. That's coming up, and then back to school will be the next one, and then we'll go into like the further holidays. We'll do something for Mother's Day and Father's Day too. And then, yes, financial donations are always great. You could be a monthly donor. You could be, we could talk about different campaigns and things like that we could do. But honestly, I want to see how we can partner. Like, what can Sparc Hope do to partner with your company? And volunteers also, yes. If you're looking for a place to serve, I'm going to have a whole bunch of job descriptions. So I'm sure we have something that you would like to do, or that you would be good at and enjoy in the process. My big thing with my volunteers is I all want them to have a sense of fulfillment from what they're doing. I want them to enjoy their jobs.
So it's not like, oh, I need this for community service.
Yes, I mean, and we do community service stuff. I'm actually working with that girl that does the charcuterie board. So if you need if you need community service, you could sell so many charcuterie boards. We get a portion of the proceeds, kind of like the kids do with the chocolate bars, growing up.
Yeah.
Well, you could sell charcuterie boards and get community service hours. So
that helps with that too.
but that's like a community partnership, and that was just something we just came up with. She's getting her business off the ground, and we love her over at Cart Charcuterie, Melissa. She's fantastic. And I was like, my daughter was selling chocolate bars, and I was like, what if we made a pamphlet that was like your grab and go products that you do? I was like, and then you could donate a portion of it, but then you would get the sales, and it would get your name out. And she was like, I love that idea. That's amazing. And so that was just a conversation we had. But we'd love to do stuff like that with your companies. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So, anything else that you want to let the world know?
I mean, if you're a single parent and you're struggling to make ends meet and, just what you're doing right now isn't working, we'd love to have a conversation with you. Maybe college isn't the best fit for you, but maybe there's something you want to do or something that you enjoy doing that you could turn that into a career, and we could help you find that. And if you need help getting through that tough part, that's what we're here for. That's what we're trying to do. So.
Cool. Well, obviously, if you want to help Sparc Hope, go to the website sparc-hope HOPE.org. Like I said, there are great calls. I've visited the office and the pantry and the grocery store. It's amazingly big. Well, I would say it's a lot going on for the space that you guys have.
Yes.
And so volunteering, like even just sitting there, like gave me insights as far as what goes on behind the scenes. So feel free to volunteer. Like you said, the collab opportunity, I think that'd be great, where like it's beneficial to the business, but opportunity to alleviate some stress that's going on with these families. But Cassie, thanks for driving over here. I'm thankful that you came on and allowed us to learn more about what you do.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
Yeah. Well, that's it for episode 4. We have more guests coming on, and we'll see you next time.